Welcome back to the channel. Following round 4 of the Six Nations, which was probably the most entertaining round of action we have seen all tournament, with both England and Italy pulling off quite sizable upsets in their respective games, which caused for some very entertaining action, some real tense passages of play, with 2 of the 3 games coming down to the red zone with the clock in overtime to determine the outcome of the match, which from a neutral's point of view is exactly what you want, especially when we're looking to grow the game of rugby. Those are the moments in which are remembered and will keep people engaged. So from a spectator's point of view, a really brilliant round of Six Nations action. In today's video, I'm going to be naming my team of the week. As always with these types of videos, I really do enjoy hearing your selections, who you agree with and who you disagree with, and I'll respond to the comments below. So please do leave your thoughts. And yeah, we're going to start off in the front row. There's quite a few Italians in this team, which is a very nice thing to see. A lot of these players have been overlooked for so long, but on the loose head jersey, we've gone for Ellis Genge. At tight head, we have gone for Uni Antonio, and in the middle is Nicotera, the Italian hooker. Start off with Ellis Genge. He got his opportunity in this match over Joe Marler. They've been, Steve Borthwick's been deciding between the two, but I think this game has really shown what you can do when you give Ellis Genge the full reins, the full start in the match to show what he can do. He really does show that he's got an added edge in terms of ball carrying, which is brilliant to see in this game. He scrummaged really well. I'm not going to say they dominated the Irish scrum because they didn't, but they stayed in the fight, and you could potentially say England edged the scrum time, which was a real good foundation for England to build their performance. Uni Antonio on the tight head, a player who has been encouraged by the international coach of France, Fabien Galtier, to stay in the team, even when he was looking to move away and stick to playing for La Rochelle, I believe, in the top 14. They've brought him back into the setup after wanting to retire from the World Cup, and he's really showed his worth once again. Really, really powerful scrummager, and he gave the Welsh front row some real nightmares there. The scrum looked like an under-14 scrum at times. He was really, really applying a huge amount of pressure, which put the Welsh front row on ice skates at times. And that was really invaluable for France in that game. It gave them, when you're away from home, you just want a foothold in the game, and that was their foothold, and it enabled them to gain good field position through penalties, and was a real weapon from 5 metres out as well. In between them is Nicotera. Looking back at Italy's performances over years gone by, they've had sparks of brilliance, but it's always been their set piece, which is the sort of moment in the match, or the sort of section in which has always fallen short. The line-out is a massive, massive part of this, and in this game, Italy really did get things right. Things started to click, and they used the line-out as a platform to launch attacks, whereas previous years, they would have lost fair bit of line-out ball. That would have reduced the number of attacking opportunities they would have got. So that was really good to see from Italy, and I think Nicotera deserves his props for the role he played in this. Moving into the second rows, I've gone for George Martin, and I've gone for Tadhg Beirne. Start off with George Martin, very, very physical player, comes into the England team after a decent World Cup campaign. He came on, he played in the semi-final against South Africa, was very, very good in that game. I think he physically was just what England needed. We needed to take the game to Ireland physically and really, really give it to them and try and dominate the collision. And he's a second row which can do just exactly that. Some really good carries, some really good tackles, and his extra beef and bulk was really, really required from this English pack. And very good performance from him. On the other side, Tadhg Beirne, not Ireland's day. They didn't have the best day at the line-out, which is why you could probably notch Tadhg Beirne down a couple marks. But in terms of his overall play, I do think he played a very positive role in Ireland's performance. He made a very intelligent intervention 5 metres out when England were 5 metres out, being able to read that the ruck was over, stole the ball, offloaded it. Those are the sorts of things you see from world-class players. When many a player would be too nervous, would be worried about giving a penalty away, he trusted himself and backed himself and made the right decision. And a very good player within the Irish side and showed his worth within the game. Moving into the back row, we've got Sebastian Negri. Number 7, we have got Michele Lamaro, the leader of Italy. And then at number 8, there's no other than Ben Earl. So let's speak about one of the 2 Italian flankers. Sebastian Negri, sort of a blindside flanker who's got the power of a number 8, really, really aggressive and can really dominate the collision battle, which was essential for Italy. if they wanted to beat Scotland. There's one thing having the flash, but if you can't be good at the nuts and bolts of the game, winning the collision, winning the gain line, it makes it so much harder for the other backs. You look at some players like Brex, Menoncello, and the wingers, Lewis Liner on the wing. If the full pack aren't getting on the front foot, these players really can't shine. So players like Sebastian Negri are exactly the player you need to be able to create that platform. At open side, we've got Michele Lamaro, a very, very passionate player, and has been at the heart of this Italy team for a few years now. And what a feeling it must be for him to win in front of their home fans for the first time in 11 years. Brilliant stuff from him and the team. He was brilliant over the ball, made a horrendous number of tackles, was absolutely brilliant in the game. So fair play to him and well-deserved slot. At number 8, I think the best player of the tournament so far, in my opinion. Probably seeing it through sort of white tinted glasses, but I do think it's quite a difficult call to argue with. Bernal has been simply sublime throughout the whole of the tournament, all of the 4 rounds so far. In this game against Ireland, he was potentially the difference between winning and losing in terms of, if you took Bernal off the pitch, I'm not sure England would win. His number of carries, his line breaks, his tackles, his ability over the ball, he really is the full package. And if England are going to go up in the next World Cup and compete as one of the best teams, he's a player you need on the pitch to be firing on all cylinders. Moving it into the back line, we've got Nolan Le Gourec, and partnering him at fly half was Thomas Ramos. Both nines in the Wales versus France game were very good. Thomas Williams was exceptional. I felt Nolan Le Gourec really deserves his spot. He's been playing very well for Racing 92 in the Champions Cup and in the top 14 respectively. A player with really good vision, really good pace, and we can't forget the 35-metre out the back door spin pass, which was absolutely ridiculous. I think if he played 5 minutes of a game and did that, he deserves his slot in the starting 15. Really, really quality stuff from him. I thought Alex Mitchell had a good game for England, but Nolan Le Gourec showed the point of difference he can prove to be. Even with so little caps, he showed a real good balanced head on his shoulders and was important for keeping France out of touch of Wales. His partner in crime in the 9 and 10 jerseys is Thomas Ramos, playing at fly half in this game where previously he'd be down here at number 15. I think that goes to show how brilliant of a rugby player he is to be able to transition between those two positions for both Toulouse and for France, and he played an absolute blinder. I think it was 8 out of 9 off the tee, which was incredible. Really tough kicks as well at points, and played the attacking role of a fly half really, really well. Got others involved in the game and was essential to the French win. And then moving into the centres, we've got Tommaso Menoncello, and we've also got Brex. Menoncello and Brex are exactly what Italy need in that midfield. One of the partnerships of the tournament, I do feel, and they were simply sublime once again. They got so much pace, vision, the ability to offload through contact. I think sometimes they complement each other so well. Brex potentially being a little bit more of the hard runner, but then you've got the pace of Menoncello, the ability to burst through a gap, and they're both brilliant at kick chase as well, which was a strategy in which Paolo Garbisi, who was lucky to miss out on the 10 jersey, really executed his kicks nicely, which gave these two a real good opportunity to get on the front foot. So very, very good partnership. Alongside Paolo Garbisi, they really did click in this game, and it was an absolute joy to watch. Moving on to the wingers, we have got, who should we go for first? Let's go for Damien Penaud, and then we have Lowe for Ireland. Let's talk about James Lowe first. I think in what was a disappointing Irish performance from their high standards, I thought it was actually an okay performance, nothing too poor from them, but they just weren't the better team on the day. But James Lowe scored 2 tries, a brace. He loves playing at Twickenham. He always gets over the whitewash for some reason, and I think he was very, very passionate in this game, really wanted to win, and that was evident to see. Every carry he made, he really wanted to be a positive impact on the team. You can see how frustrated he was getting at the errors Ireland were making, simply because his standards are so high. I do see him going towards the Lions tour, towards the next World Cup, as being a very influential player within this Irish team. On top of that, I feel he took quite a lot of kicking responsibility off of Crowley in the match, who Crowley didn't have his best game, but Lowe, with his left sort of laser-guided boot, managed to gain Ireland some territory on multiple occasions, one of which he kicked it to Furbank at fullback, pinpoint accuracy on the touchline, and he took it into touch. So if Ireland were going to win that match, you'd have to give a lot of credit towards James Lowe. On the other wing, a player that didn't actually score in Damien, I don't know why I did DM, what an idiot, Damien Penaud was absolutely phenomenal on the wing. Pace, vision, ability to spot a gap and to turn the throttle to max and go for it. A player who's so courageous and doesn't really care about his own safety at some certain points. I thought he was very good in this match. He showed a bit of everything really. He showed that he had a little bit of an offloading game as well and really did well to get involved. I think Rio Dyer also deserves a huge shout to play on the team of the week. I think he was exceptional as well. Took his try nicely, showed some brilliant pace as well. But I'm going to give it the way of Damien Penaud, who had a massive influence on France in that game and is one of the best finishers in the world. So dynamic and so dangerous from short range. And then at fullback we've got Ange Capuozzo, a player in which lights up the field every time he gets the opportunity. Brilliant fast feet, brilliant ability to spot a gap. I'm not going to say it was his best ever performance because that would be going over the top, but he's been really consistent when he's played for Italy. And in terms of that little bit of stardust, a little bit of extra sprinkling of world-class ability in patches. I'm not saying he's a world-class fullback, but his world-class ability in patches to be able to change a game. We saw it against Wales away in 2022 when he pretty much won them the match through his bit of brilliance. But he showed that he did have the basics to his game, not always the fancy stuff. He did show a bit of a full package in this game, and he really did go a long way to help Italy be able to provide the point of difference, to be able to provide the win for their fans in which they've been longing for some time. That's my team of the week. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Feel free to disagree, but if you do disagree, do let me know why. There's a few players in which only just sneaked in, so I think there'll be plenty of room for changes. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Until the next video, see you later guys.